then took the money and blah, blah, blah. I went viral within 7 days. Many people might be thinking, I don't get it. Doesn't she sell homes? Doesn't she sell real estate? Doesn't she own an agency? Shouldn't she double down there? Isn't the money great there? You guys have absolutely no idea the kind of money being offered to content creators that are...
What do you think's the biggest moneymaker in real estate for you out of all those things?
For me, personally, it's... My name is Tatiana Londano, better known as Tat Londano. I am a real estate maven, in that anything you have heard of real estate-wise, I've done it, all of it. I coach real estate, I sell real estate, I own a real estate agency. Basically what you've done.
Yep.
I wrote a book on the matter. Oh, I was one of the first real estate agents on HGTV USA. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And then HGTV Canada bought the show.
Okay.
And then all the worldwide networks bought the show.
Yep.
So I was being viewed as a real estate agent who just opened their real estate agent that just opened her real estate agency all over the world. So I like to say, yes, I think luck plays a part as well, but real estate, and I said it on my YouTube, my first video, real estate saved my life. I would run this way, real estate would come. I would run this way, real estate would come.
You just didn't want to do real estate.
I was forced into real estate.
That's kind of how I feel. Yeah.
And I feel like we have a lot of similarities. I said, how did you do all this? And you're like, trial and error. Like, just figured it out. Same thing.
Yep.
So,
well, what's interesting is I remember we both got onto TikTok at the same time during the pandemic. And there wasn't many people in the business space doing it, right? Like, I was like, I think this TikTok thing's going to be pretty big. So I started making content. And then I noticed you and a couple other people. And sure enough, there was like this little collective back then. You, me, Kong.
And Thatch.
Love
right? Thatch.
All these people in real estate taking it serious. And I think we've all reaped the rewards of doing that.
We have, and I think we deserve the rewards because we share valuable information out there that could change people's lives.
Yeah.
So
100%. Now that you bring up Thatch, he's the only one I haven't had on the podcast yet, even though we're buddies. I got to get him on, but your content and Thatch's content remind me of each other. Well, he's like the guy version of you.
Yeah. Well, he inspired me.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we used to inspire each other.
Yeah.
Remember that? So we would inspire each other, and maybe we did give credit, maybe we didn't, but now we give credit. There's rules and regulations when you're posting your TikToks. But I remember seeing Thatch's video about, don't buy this first.
Yeah.
Buy this first. So my son, Josh, who's my director and producer, he was like, we got to do something like this, Mom.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. I'm like a wind-up doll. I'll do whatever I'm told.
Yep.
So my son says, do this and say it this way. So I did it, and it went viral. Things are changing on TikTok right now. You're not going viral as much anymore.
Right.
I think they chose their representatives, their stars.
Yep.
And it's very hard to get those eyeballs and to get those likes now. But don't give up, because you never know if you're that next star. But yeah, Thatch, he really inspired me. My favorite videos are when he's like, check out my son.
Yeah.
He's like, look how many jobs he has. He's already a millionaire.
That's crazy.
I love him.
Yeah, and your son, Josh, is here. He's only 20.
Yes.
And you've been bragging about him the whole time you've been here, just like Thatch does.
Well, he's behind the scenes, and I don't think he gets enough credit. You have to understand that everything I do is because he told me to do it and say it in a certain way.
Right.
Now, I might correct him with the content because I'm the one actually dabbling in real estate every single day. Yeah, I have the expertise.
Yep.
But Josh was the one, well, he's famous for his camera tricks, for his in and out. People say, oh, I'm nauseous. Others say, ooh, love the camera, dude. What's he doing with the camera?
It's all him.
It's all him. He was also the one who says, no, you can't just speak like you're speaking to somebody, having a conversation like I'm having with you right now. He's the one who said, you gotta yell.
You know what they call it is you have to speak TikTok.
You got to speak to, oh, well, that's a third thing. So he says, I have to yell. So he says, you have to make sure they're paying attention. So don't buy this first, buy this first.
Yeah, you exaggerate.
I bought this, and so people will say, why are you yelling at me? So I'll write in the comments so that you can pay attention.
In all caps.
That's right. And all that. Third thing, you got to speak TikTok.
Yeah.
He spoke TikTok. I didn't. I spoke Instagram. So I was doing well on Instagram. And Instagram's slower. Instagram's easy. You're talking to basically all the defectors of Facebook that went on Insta. So older clientele as well. And you could sit there just blabbing away normally. And people will listen to you or not. You post on story. Then TikTok came along. And I was doing the same thing. I was talking about my keto diet, intermittent fasting, my makeup routine, real estate. 0 views.
People are like, why am I watching this?
Yes, on TikTok.
Yeah.
So then my son says to me, Mom, do you really want me to help you? I'm like, yeah. So he goes, okay, you got to pay me.
What was he doing before?
School.
Just being a kid. He was probably 17, 18 at the time.
Playing hockey.
Okay.
Going to school, studying. Poor kid, he was stuck in his room because we're in the middle of the pandemic and we're in a place where we weren't allowed out for months. And so he was doing nothing. And he goes, if you pay me, I'll do it. And I agree with that because if I don't pay him, he'll choose when he wants to help me, when he doesn't want to.
No incentive.
Right, no incentive. So then Joshua says to me, Mom, please, you got to make it quick. You got to make it loud. I'll take care of the rest. So I'd be like, okay. So we did the keto diet thing. He goes, no, Mom, you have to focus on one thing. What's it going to be? It's not keto. No one gives a shit about keto. Nobody knows what keto is. So I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Makeup? Mom, real estate. What is wrong with you? I'm like, okay, fine. I bought this building for $350,000, sold it, refinanced it, and bought this one for another $1 million. I then took the money and blah, blah, blah. I went viral within 7 days.
Crazy.
That's it.
Yep.
And the rest is history. Everything I touched turned to gold. Amen, amen, amen.
Yeah.
And now it's harder. Why? Because there are over 1 billion people on TikTok now around the world.
Crazy.
And there's new faces every single day. So, for example, I follow you. Your videos used to show up on my feed all the time.
Yep.
Now I have to go find them.
Right.
Because there's so many new people coming onto the platform. And so, yeah, the same thing's happening. Because there's so many people, you really got to stand out.
Yeah, and I think too, with all of these social media platforms, they all change their algorithms and everything else, right? So when we first started in 2020, absolutely, like going viral was not easy, but like significantly easier.
Yeah.
And now, to your point, I release the same content. My content hasn't changed.
It hasn't. You're the same. You're consistent. You're steady. And that's why you keep growing as well.
Yeah.
There's comfort in consistency as well.
Right.
I miss not seeing Thatch. I love Thatch.
Right.
I miss Kang. I don't see.
Yeah.
They're trying to throw all these new creators at me. I don't know. I'm old school.
100%. I've noticed that. I think they want to incentivize new people to create content. And so that's their focus because they're like, oh, well, these guys are already good.
Yeah.
You know.
So let's see if we could get other people in. But they're just copying us.
There you go. It's true. So what are your thoughts on these other platforms? I mean, TikTok's obviously been big for you. What about YouTube and Instagram, everything else?
So I'm going to be honest with you. Let's start with Instagram. Instagram has been great. That's where I started. The algorithm thing too there. Like, I don't get the numbers. Like, everything's up. Engagement's up. My views are crazy now. So I see that they're pushing the reels.
Right.
But then you'll lose followers. I don't understand how Instagram works, but like you, I'm consistent and committed, and it works out. Maybe I'm a little spoiled. I have almost 200,000 followers on Instagram. I want more. And you get spoiled because I have the TikTok numbers. We're almost at 2.8 million. And then I go to Instagram where everything's slower. It's like being on another planet, like slow planet, like everything's very slow. Well, I like the TikTok rhythm. I love the youth of TikTok, and I don't mean it literally. I just love the action-packed, fast, getting my info within 20 seconds or less. Love that.
Right.
But Instagram, I'm there. This is, as we were talking about earlier, I close my deals on Instagram.
Yeah.
Love Instagram. People pay on Instagram. TikTok, it's a different demographic. It's changing every single day. Mm-hmm. But Instagram's where I get the business done.
Yeah.
And then YouTube. More, more, more. YouTube. So we started really strong last year. I just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
There was too much. I'm a control freak, believe it or not. I am a control freak. And the keywords, the freaking thumbnail, the description.
There's a lot to make in one video.
And
it's longer. It's got to be thought out and planned and scripted. And
the editing.
Yep, the editing.
Just everything. Oh my God, my face looks green in that shot. For example, where I'm from, it could be snowing or it could be raining. It's always dark where I'm from. And so I look and I'm like, oh my God, I look like crap. Who's going to fix that? Or maybe I was too close to the mic and then there was just so in January, I said, forget it. I'm going to double down on TikTok. I'm going to choose one platform and it's going to be TikTok. And I got another 1 million followers.
Yeah.
And I am getting one brand deal after the other. And guys, the journalists, they got it all wrong. They don't know how much influencers, content creators are getting paid. They have no clue.
Right.
So an article came out a couple of weeks back. I'm, thank God, one of the top 10 fintech content creators in the world, according to this article. Erica Kullberg.
Yep.
And Mark Tilbury. They're like number 1 and number 2.
Yep.
I'm number 6.
That's good.
That's pretty good. But then the article went on to talk about the money we're making. And that's where they got it all wrong.
Yeah.
So many people might be thinking, I don't get it. Doesn't she sell homes? Doesn't she sell real estate? Doesn't she own an agency? Shouldn't she double down there? Isn't the money great there? You guys have absolutely no idea the kind of money being offered to content creators that are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It is, and that's why you hear people saying, I'm a full-time content creator because it's worth it.
Yeah.
And so, to answer your question, what am I doing now? Just a little bit of everything, like you said, figuring it out and double downing on what's paying.
You want to know a funny story about Erica? Her and I, we've done some videos together for my YouTube, and we met at an event last year for the first time in person, but she wasn't on TikTok. And I told her, I go, Erica, you should be on TikTok. Like, your stuff would be great. At the time, she had like 20,000 on Instagram. She had like a couple 100,000 on YouTube, and that's all she was doing. And she starts making videos, and one of them goes viral. She gets like 200,000 followers instantly. And we're DMing on Instagram. I'm like, good job. That was awesome. She's like, that was crazy how fast you can grow on TikTok. It's way crazier than YouTube and Instagram. And I go, yeah, here's what you have to do next. Make that video over like 100 times.
And she did.
And
that's what she does.
Yep.
And that is her style, and people copy her style now. So that is her.
Yeah.
She's the one with
her style was
people.
like a very common style even before she got famous.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was her. You see what I mean? She's become the Kleenex of that style now, because I thought it was hers.
Yeah, the whole back and forth thing of talking to yourself is like a thing with one of my friends, Humphrey Yang, was, I think, probably one of the first people to really do it. And he did that and got a few million on TikTok and everything else. And it's just so crazy because I remember looking at her numbers because we were just talking, and I was like, I bet you'll get to 1 million followers in less than a month if you just make that video every day. And she did it in like a week. I was like, I was like, okay, just do it. Keep doing it every day. See how far it can go. It's crazy.
So I can't even imagine, someone who's a lawyer, a corporate lawyer, taking crap all day at some office and then doing this and getting the kind of offers that I'm getting, but she's probably getting them threefold. how are you ever going to look back?
Yeah.
This is fabulous. This is life. Look at me talking to you. We're sharing, we're collaborating, we're masterminding. This is what I love.
If you're watching this show, my guess is you're probably an entrepreneur who's trying to grow your business. And for me, the best thing I ever did to grow my business was build my personal brand on social media. It's allowed me to get more revenue, it's allowed me to raise more capital, and it's allowed me to hire better talent. And if you are not currently creating content for your brand, you're missing out and your competition is. So if you want to learn to grow, my advice is to create a podcast. Now, there's a lot that goes into building a podcast and why I believe it's the best way. So I've actually created a free training that I want you to go check out. If you go to pinedamedia.com/podcast, you can go access the free training right now and see how a podcast is going to be the best decision to grow your personal brand today. So go check it out by clicking the link below, and I'll see you in the training. I was reading an article with the biggest TikToker, Codie. I don't even know how many followers he's got now, like 150 million or something crazy. God. And he had just signed a deal with Boss. And he's doing some ad for Boss now and everything. I'm like,
is he the one who doesn't speak?
Yeah. Yep. He's the guy who just makes fun of, he just shakes his hands. It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And that has led him to having deals with major clothing
brands. Where's he from? He's from Italy, right?
I think so.
Yep. So you could be from anywhere, hit it big on one of these platforms, and sky's the limit. Now, let me ask you a question, sir.
All right.
You've met so many people. You've been doing this for so long. You're on every single platform, and you're successful on every single platform. How long do you think? So the latest one is TikTok. It's number one, actually, they say. They're trying to go SEO now. They're trying to copy. They're trying to copy for once. Usually it's the other way around. Everyone's copying them.
Right.
Now they're trying to copy YouTube. It's kind of scary for YouTube, for Google. Question. How long do you think TikTok's going to last before the next guy comes out? Is it getting quicker? Is society changing? Who's next?
Yeah, I think with tech, it all happens so fast. So just in the last 5 years of social media, right? I mean, look at how many shifts of power you've seen where, okay, 5 years ago, I was only on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook was it, right? And then there was this Snapchat thing that everyone was getting on. And so Snapchat was the hot thing. Twitter was also pretty big at that point too. And then all of a sudden Instagram becomes like the number one app. And so everyone's on Instagram. And then I start hearing about YouTubers making all this money, right? And so
let's make money.
Yeah, becoming a YouTuber is like now the best thing. And then 2020, TikTok starts emerging and everyone's like, TikTok's the thing. So it's like literally 4 to 5 platforms have claimed top rank in the last 4 to 5 years.
Right.
So if you were to bet that TikTok's going to be number one for the next 5 years, you'd be not a very smart bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is my personal opinion. I don't watch a lot of content. I'm busy producing it, running businesses and stuff. So I just don't really have time. And the reason I knew TikTok was going to be big when I first started was because I don't like watching content, but I liked watching TikTok.
Right.
I was like, whoa.
Me too.
This is addicting. This is crazy. And so it gave me confidence in that. I still don't like watching YouTube videos. Like I don't watch anybody's 10 to 15 minute videos anymore. Either. I just don't have time. But what I do like listening to are podcasts. I would love to listen to a podcast of you and me potentially, like whoever's listening is like, yeah, I like both of them. Let's see what they would talk about.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I do. And then the reason podcasts are good is because you don't have to be actively watching it like a TikTok. So I can go to the gym. I can, be in my car. Podcasts are very consumable in that way that TikTok is not.
Exactly.
So my belief is that anything in between is going to get less and less views. Like a 10 to 15 minute video, a 5 minute video, those all get less views. People are going to go to 20-second or 1 hour. That's what I think.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. So what's the future of TikTok?
Instagram has done a good job of pushing reels out. So now people are getting their fix of TikTok on Instagram.
So I've seen that.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my husband as an example. Yes, I have a husband. For those of you who didn't know.
You were calling him the baby daddy.
No, baby daddy, somebody else. I have 2 husbands.
Okay, got it. All right.
Oh, well. many famous and successful entrepreneurs out there have several wives. Nope. All right. Anyway, no. So I have my ex-husband. I hate calling him ex-husband because we're like, we do everything together. We love each other. We travel together. All of us, the gang.
Yep.
We're like a modern family.
Okay.
So the baby daddy.
Yep.
The one I had the children with.
Yep.
Love him. His name is Oren. And then I have the current husband who's been around a long time too. His name is David.
Okay.
So I'm with David and I'm watching and he was on TikTok. Like in the morning before he wakes up and has his coffee, he'll say good morning to me and I see him on the TikTok. Lately, he's on Reels.
Yeah.
He's on Reels. So is there something happening there? Are people going back to Instagram?
Well, I can tell you for me, I get more views on Reels.
Nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, they're better views, right? Like you said, people on Instagram will buy your stuff.
They pay.
TikTok won't. So I'm like, you ask me what I like better. It's like, yeah, I got more followers on TikTok, but I know for me, Instagram's more valuable today.
That's what everyone says, and it's a consensus. It is a proven fact. You're going to make money on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, the problem with TikTok too is that you can't DM properly. People don't DM on TikTok. People DM on Instagram all the time.
And
right?
you can't have 2.7 million people DMing you either. They go crazy. Like it's insane. So because of the way we grew so quickly on TikTok, it's impossible to manage that. Like it's crazy.
I haven't checked my TikTok DMs in like 2 years. I'm serious. I just haven't looked. But I check my Instagram DMs every day, multiple times a day.
And the brands are going to find you anyway through your email address.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. No, I love my TikTok and I feel the TikTok feeds Instagram. But ever since Instagram, so that I have to finish my thought. I have so many thoughts. Ever since Instagram came up with Reels, it's getting better. But I know everybody's complaining about it. They're like, what happened to old-fashioned Instagram where we could enjoy and like people's photos and leave it at that? For those of you crying and complaining about that, it ain't changing, honey. They could pretend and say they're never changing it. They're sticking with video content, quick, fast, music, etc.
I don't think they've even tried to hide that. I saw a thing, it was, 6 months ago where they're like, we are no longer a photo sharing app.
There we go.
Like we don't care.
In fact, we're pushing more video.
Yeah, we're a video app, short form video app.
We're going to push video and that's the way it's going to be. So you could cry all day, all night. Time to change.
Yeah.
No more. What do you think of those influencers with the photos and the watches and the car? Like
that used to be the old Instagram. And people don't want it anymore.
I don't want it. I don't know why people want it. I don't want it.
No.
Do you want it? Are you learning anything from that?
Yeah, me looking at a guy looking at his watch, all cool.
I can't.
Like, but what's the point of it?
I don't want it, and I don't want to read a 15-minute long caption either. Mm-hmm. I want to watch the video.
Tell me it in 30 seconds.
That too. And also, YouTube, I agree with you. I want to see it in 30 seconds. I don't want to watch, but I still go to YouTube for how to fix my iPhone when it's glitching or how to do. And that's what, I guess, YouTube is the new Encyclopedia Britannica.
It really is, yeah.
And there's a space for everything. I hope that TikTok lasts forever, but it won't. And I won't either. So who cares?
There you go.
Who cares?
So tell me about just, we're talking about social media and all that. And obviously it's what's helped both of our careers. But career-wise outside of social media, tell me about kind of what's going on.
So I've done it all when it comes to real estate, as I was saying before. I invest in real estate. I own a real estate agency. I sell real estate. I manage real estate agents. What else do I do? Real estate. I wrote a real estate book. Writing another one.
What do you think's the biggest moneymaker in real estate for you out of all those things?
For me, personally, it's selling real estate.
Just being an agent selling real estate.
I'm a broker.
Okay.
But it's not someone once said to me, brokers are broke. Brokers are broke. But it's not I think the broker, it happened naturally because people loved me and They loved what I was doing on social media. And I was on TV, on HGTV. So HGTV was way before social media. It was
That was the first social media. Way to be known.
So I was on HGTV, so it filled up my agency. And then after that, the Instagram loved me. And then after that, Facebook first, then Instagram, and then TikTok. But I've always been able to fill up an agency. So that just came up. That came like accidentally.
Right.
I opened the real estate agency just because I didn't want to pay another broker.
So, I mean, when you say you're a broker, I mean, for me, when I look at being a broker, it's just
headache
managing a group of agents, right? And then I look at the agent side of like the actual selling of real estate. So are you still showing buyers around? Okay, you're doing all that stuff. So am I showing
buyers around? No, I have a team.
Okay.
So that's how you leverage.
Yep.
You know that. And so that's why I have so much free time to do the social media and the brand deals, because I have a fantastic team just bringing in the deals.
So you're just using your social media to get more leads for your team. They're working the leads, showing houses, listing houses, doing all that.
Yes. And as you were saying before, the best leads come from Facebook, and then Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're still going hard on Facebook too?
Every multi-million-dollar realtor has they have their ads going on Facebook. They're still doing the Facebook marketing. You could just check it out. Go on Facebook. They're all there.
When you say Facebook, are you talking about you're running Facebook ads, or are you talking about putting content on Facebook?
No, running Facebook ads.
Okay.
I'm not. I have people.
Your team is.
And no, I have to tell you, the reels, sharing it on Facebook, tons of leads.
Yeah.
Tons of, and I mean great leads, because they see what you're doing. And you get the high quality seller and buyer.
Right.
You get the $1 million. I'm not saying that the $200,000 people aren't high quality. They're fantastic. I love them. But you're getting the money. You're getting the $1 million deals when you're posting those reels.
Yeah.
You're getting the $1 million deals when you're posting those reels.
There we go.
So yeah.
So did you know I used to be an agent?
I know this.
And I was not good. I got my license when I was 21. How old were you?
So I was 30 years old.
Okay. So I was 21.
I was younger than you are now.
Yes. Yes. But I got it in 2010, right after the recession. So you remember prices were super low. Getting a commission was hard.
Yes.
And I'm 21 thinking, this is how real estate is all the time.
And the commissions were low.
It's super hard to sell something because everybody just had a foreclosure.
Their properties,
they were bankrupt. They had bad credit. Everybody was toast. So finding a buyer was like a needle in a haystack. And then when I did sell them one, it was no commission. And everyone knows that my favorite way to build wealth is through real estate investing. That's the reason that I started Wealthy Investor, where we've trained thousands of students. But here's the thing. I've noticed that so many people fail to get started in real estate because they're worried about the money. They don't know where they're going to get the money to buy a house or flip or handle their renovations and things like that. And so they just never get started. I want to change that. And that's why I created a brand new free course that goes over 5 different ways that you could buy houses without using any of your own money today. And I'm going to give you it completely for free. All you have to do is go to wealthyinvestor.com/podcast. I've made it specifically for you. The moment you go to that link, you'll be able to go get access to it and learn how you could start buying houses today without any of your own money. And if you're somebody who already has a real estate business and who wants to scale, we want to help you too. You can click the link below and book a free strategy call with our team if that's you. Yeah, I never wanted to be a realtor. I mean, I gave up my license, I want to say in like 2018. So I kept it for a while. Yeah. But the only reason I even kept it, I didn't work with buyers or anything. I started out listing my own flips to start. And then I was like, I don't even want to do this. So I stopped listing my own flips. And then I just kept my license in order to get commissions on the flips I was buying off the MLS.
Right. Wow.
And then I gave that up. I was like, this isn't even worth my time anymore. Like, just give it all up. Because what started happening too was more liability when you flip and you're licensed. And I was like, these people's complaining about a repair request and they're bringing it up to the realtor board. I'm like, this has nothing to do with me being a realtor. I wasn't even the listing agent on it. But the fact that I was licensed, the board could call me up to like go to arbitration. I'm like, I ain't got time for this.
Exactly.
Take my license.
Good for you. Yeah. Conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't, they could just blame you and they go with the buyer.
Always.
You're the evil realtor making all that money.
Talking about it on TikTok.
Yeah. So here's the thing. For me, the big money's still there.
Okay.
Because I respect every amount. But I think you might be right. With everything that's going on in the real estate side of things, with real estate sales and the new rules and they change the contracts every single month.
Yep.
And then I see the kind of revenue you can make doing this.
Yep.
What do you think I want to do?
I'm with you. That's why I stopped.
You know, and yeah, it's hard because you've built a business making millions of dollars every year, and it runs itself basically. But then you get tired. It's more the headaches, right? Mm-hmm. Not the money. The headaches that come with making that money are so. Just yesterday, my son and I, because my son is also my real estate photographer.
Mm-hmm. Your son's a freaking Swiss Army knife. This guy's. What else does he do? He's your producer. He's your videographer. He's your camera guy.
Script writer.
But
wait, he manages other people.
Does he edit too?
He edited as well, but then he had to stop that. Yeah. But my TikToks, he edits. He edits all the TikToks.
That's crazy.
He has other clients.
Wow.
I'm not the only one. And I go, what are you doing? I go, send that off to somebody else.
Delegate.
Get it
Yeah.
And he's like, he can't do it my way. Because he has his thing.
Finding editors right now is the hardest thing.
Everyone has their own style and they don't know what he's doing. Like he has his way. I don't know how he does it. He was always like that. When he was a little baby, he was drawing dinosaurs. He was drawing sharks, and he made sure the sharks had the exact teeth. Like
was he putting subtitles on the shark?
He was putting
shark.
And I knew. So yeah, my son and I at the hotel. Here we are. We're preparing for you, Ryan. We're preparing and.
Okay.
He's coaching me and he's like, you got to be a real bitch. You got to show people who you really are. You're too nice on the podcasts. Be real. Like, be who you are.
So my first year on TikTok, I did everything myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have a Josh. Yeah, I did. For 1 year straight.
It was 2020.
Yep. In 2020, I filmed it in my kitchen, me, 2 a day every morning. I edited it myself. I filmed it myself. I just winged it. And that, obviously got me to where I got. And then eventually I found an editor and a guy who could repurpose all my podcasts, everything. I go, dude, that's the best thing ever. I don't have to do any of this stuff no more. And so since that day, I never posted again.
Wow.
In, probably 2 years on TikTok. Like they've been doing it all for me.
Well, that's the thing. People get busy, but there's this core little group of, well, you're included and we include you in it anyway, whether you're posting, like whether you're there or not.
Okay.
But there's like the originals, like the Kang, the Thatch, you. And we all chit chat together, Danny, for the stock guy. Uh-huh. And we all talk and we all collaborate. I just love everything about it. I love it. But yeah, and you were saying, do they punish you?
Oh, for sure they punish, because I noticed that too was, not only just view-wise, but also them communicating with you. So I don't know if this was your experience, but in 2020, I had my own rep. And they were like, hey, Ryan, is there anything we can do for you? They would send me personally brand deals. Like they were negotiating. They're like, Ryan, TurboTax wants to pay you this. Do you want it? And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we do it. And then they were sending me like gifts, like skateboards.
Yeah,
and
I remember. Yeah, you got gifts from TikTok.
Yep. They were sending me.
I never got any gifts from TikTok.
They were sending me all this stuff. And then they even sent me a pitch deck, because you were saying this earlier of how they pick their stars.
They do, but you were one of the, I remember, because you were one of the first guys I saw on TikTok.
Yep. So they were picking me and they were like, they basically built my resume for me. And they were like, Ryan Pineda, ultra successful real estate investor. He's known for his beautiful hair. And like, dude, literally this was the pitch. And I was thinking,
what?
This is interesting.
Yeah.
And this is what they were pitching brands for me. They were literally like acting as my agent, because what they were trying to do was get ads at the time, because ads didn't exist. Like TikTok was just rolling out ads.
Starting.
And they wanted the brands to get people they knew would actually perform.
Yeah.
And so they were doing all that for me. And then I just remember as like when I was actively doing the app myself, editing, they could see obviously that I'm doing it within the app. But the moment I started,
went outside of the app.
Yeah. The moment I started just being hands off and like uploading like we do now, it stopped.
100%.
Yep.
It stopped. So I got that TurboTax deal too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the views you got on that TurboTax deal?
I don't even remember.
Oh.
It was a lot because they were just pushing it. Yeah.
It was crazy. But as soon as we're outside the app, do you know my son will use a different font on CapCut and they'll punish you? Like you got to use everything then.
Within the app, yeah.
And it's crazy, but we follow the rules. I'm okay with it. I'll do it.
Well, you know what happened was, for me, once I started doing that, and then it was basically me and my guy, Ryan McGinn. I ended up hiring him because I noticed, I was like, dude, this guy makes good videos. And I noticed he was doing Grant Cardone's videos when Grant Cardone got on TikTok. And I hit him up and I said, hey, Ryan, are you doing Grant Cardone's videos? Like, they look very similar to yours.
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't say.
Uh-oh, that means yes.
And I was like, well, do you do it for anyone else? He's like, no, Grant's my first client. And I go, do you want a second client?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And so we started our relationship. And that was when he started repurposing my stuff, adding the subtitles that you see today. And it's just so funny because, you know, me and Grant were the first people to do that
the
style.
Subtitle thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Now everybody
does the subtitle, the emoji. And it's just funny now because we were doing that so long ago. And then, you know, people will say, you know, hey, like, are you copying Hormozy stuff or this guy? It's like, no, we all just use Ryan.
Yeah.
we all started in the same thing and, you know, it just works. But now everybody copies it.
Yeah. So that's the go-to thing. I get pitched on that every single day. Can we take your videos and blah, 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 blah. Every single day someone wants to. There's these guys out of Panama. There's people out of India.
Yeah.
Everybody. And they all do great jobs too. And you know what? It's effective.
Yeah.
It works because now 20 seconds isn't enough to keep people's attention.
They got to read.
They got to read the boom, boom, and the emojis and the music
My wife and I were cracking up about this because 5 years ago, we would never watch a movie with subtitles. That was like weird.
Oh, that is interesting what you're going to say.
Yeah, and now she's
no
like,
problem.
I want to watch. No, she's like, where are the subtitles? I want to watch the Netflix with subtitles. It's so weird.
I know.
And if you tried to watch,
you couldn't even focus.
Yeah.
You're like, turn that off.
Yeah, it's distracting.
Yeah.
And now you're like, dude, if this TikTok doesn't have words on it, how am I supposed to know what this person is saying? It's like, that's how it is. People are crazy.
So that's very interesting.
But also people watch it in silence. So they also, you know, people kind of like scroll.
I don't do the silence thing. I'm telling you.
A lot of people do.
It's more than that. I don't think it's that.
Oh, well, it's both. It is just
something else. It's crazy and the silent thing. But I think you might be close to, I don't know, something. There's something in what you're saying for the future. I don't know what it is.
Well, like even look at a guy like Mr. Beast, right? If you ever watch one of his YouTube videos, he takes it to the extreme of doing that for 15 minutes. Like he'll do boom, 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 word on the video. And then it's like cuts to a normal part. And then it all of a sudden he'll know exactly when the viewer's about to like lose their attention in 5 seconds. And then he does something crazy, pattern interrupt. And like, I study it just from a creative perspective. And for instance, I had this guy, I don't know if you ever have seen him he's been on Mr. Beast videos. He's got his own YouTube channel. His name is Phidias.
Oh God, yes. My son told me about it.
Okay, so Phidias was here 2 days ago. You missed him. This is, if you ever want to see like famous creators and people, just hang out here for a week.
I have your phone number now, so I will.
So Phidias is a wild child, man. The he's like 21, 22 years old, and he's just all over the place. But anyways, he wanted to interview me, and I go, okay. So I sat where you're sitting. He interviewed me. And
in your office here?
Here. Yep. He was like, hey, I'm in Vegas. I want to do a podcast with you. I'm like, okay, I'll interview you, Phidias. This will be interesting. He's like, no, I want to interview you. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Okay,
and
I'll
so
do it.
We do that. And he's like, hey, I want to give you guys consultation on YouTube. I'm like, okay. So he gives us consultation, the entire team. He goes, all right, Ryan.
He has ADD.
Yeah, he's literally nonstop. He goes, Ryan, do I have your permission to tell you the truth? And I'm like, yes.
What's he going to say to you?
And he goes, okay. He goes to Justin, my producer. Do I have your permission to tell you the truth? Justin says, yes, Phidias. Austin's over here just filming the whole thing. He goes, okay, your YouTube videos suck.
No.
And he just starts going off. He's like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Your thumbnails are okay, but you need bigger eyes in your thumbnails. And he's like, this is what you need to do in the intro. This is how you keep them hooked throughout the video. This is the idea. This is that. And it was really good information.
And he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. This guy can get 1 million views on every video.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just funny to hear, like, essentially what he was saying is that the whole thing that makes TikTok successful, you would have to translate that into 15 minutes straight of like hook, pattern interrupt, subtitle, graphic, B-roll. Like, that's what it takes to keep somebody's attention for 15 minutes, because everybody's attention is so short because of TikTok. And that was the takeaway I had. Now, on one hand, I said, Phidias, I agree with you. Like, that is how you get to it. Because he goes, dude, your video should get 200,000 views a video. They're so good with information. You're just packaging them wrong. And these vlogs you guys do, you need to make them, you have more of all this different things. And I'm just like, dude, Phidias, here's the deal though. I mean, like, one, if I just do a video of straight like content where I'm just teaching something, they ain't gonna try and see like me cut every 2 seconds.
No.
Like, they're wanting to listen.
They want to know what's next. Hurry up. I need to write this down.
Yeah,
right?
like they want all the stuff, and those things are distracting. Like, what works in a Mr. V Phidias video doesn't work on an educational, I'm trying to teach you something video.
It doesn't.
But the second thing was, even if you're right, I got too much crap going on with my other businesses to like optimize the perfect video for YouTube. I would rather just release 5 YouTubes a week of repurposed content from the podcast, from my vlogs, and just go pure volume versus like working on one video that's just so good. Because that's what they do.
So you hit the nail. There is a difference between people who are entertaining on YouTube and people who are teaching and sharing. Mr. Beast is a beast. He's entertaining.
Yeah.
Meaning these kids are watching him to see what he's going to do next, what contest he's going to have. I saw his Squid Games.
That was crazy.
That was insane, and it was entertaining, and I'm watching.
And if you spend over $1 million to make a video, then yeah, you need to optimize it to the fullest for sure.
Exactly, and that is his full-time gig. This is what he does. He is a YouTube star. But there's no freaking way that I'm going to be doing that to teach lead generation.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
And I tried. And he's absolutely correct. I don't have the time. I just don't. And okay, so you need a team. Even so.
Yeah, even with the team, the amount of manpower to like make a video.
The ROI it's for our content, for our kind of content. But so therefore, I'd rather be consistent. A week ago, a friend of mine who is also a TikToker, also a YouTuber, he's much more successful than me. His name is Bao the Magician. He's helped me with a lot of the equipment. He used to be my photographer. And now he's huge. And he was helping me out and my son out 2 weeks ago. And he says, Tat, why did you stop posting on YouTube? And I said, because it was too much work. I just couldn't do it. And even with the team, I had to manage the team. It was too much work.
Yeah.
It's like, the guy who did my keywords would disappear. And he actually told me his grandmother was dying in the hospital. I said, I can't be dealing with this. I can't do it. He says, then why don't you just, repost your TikToks and your Reels?
Yeah. So
I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, just upload them. And I'm like, really? I don't have to pay someone to upload them? And he's like, no, you could do it yourself. In fact, they prefer it when you use the app. Really? I upload my Reels first time in 6 months. I got 20,000 views.
Yeah.
On the one. I'm like, it wasn't my Reels. It was a TikTok. Removed the watermark, etc. Reposted it. And I got 20,000 views. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I think that's what they're all doing.
Yeah.
They're just putting up. So it's the same content everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now that shorts, because I mean, they all know that.
But they're double downing on shorts, and now they're going to monetize shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth it, but it's the same content everywhere you look.
Right.
So therefore, what is the logical conclusion? Pretty soon the apps are going to
all look like each other.
Yeah, or they're going to penalize you for like somehow figure out through some weird
Did you
AI.
post on this other app?
Yeah, the same one. They'll use AI to see if you're actually posting original content.
That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think let's just say in this world that they all have short form and long form, right? Somehow TikTok figures out how to make YouTubes. Somehow Instagram tried it with IGTV and they kind of just gave up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they were trying to compete with YouTube with that.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out. But even in a world where they all do share similar characteristics, right? Because TikTok has stories, YouTube has stories. How many people use them? I don't know. To me, Instagram stories are what people watch.
Yeah, they do. And Reels now.
It's just kind of annoying that you would have to just post them across all things that just, I guess, whoever happens to be on that app more.
Yeah, and that's what it is because there's a lot of people who are still not on TikTok.
Yeah.
They say, I can't go on TikTok. It's too much. It's crazy. It's addictive, blah, 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 blah. So they're watching you on Instagram and they think that it's original content when really it all came from TikTok.
It really did. Yep.
The stories, now TikTok has stories, but they have a different kind of story. It's different. So that's good because your TikTok stories can't be the same as the Instagram stories. So that's good. But YouTube, yeah, reposting the TikToks again or the Reels. Anyway, all that to say, video. You got to
get good at video.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
It's all about video for marketing, for everything.
Yeah.
Even the real estate ads.
This is the
boring.
Yeah, this is actually the reason why I'm starting one of my new businesses called Pineda Media. I understand as we were both business people before creators, right?
100%.
So
and that's what makes us amazing creators.
Yeah, because we understand business.
Right.
Right. And we're teaching off experience, not theory. Right.
Suck them in.
So I know there's a lot of great business people out there that should be making way more money if they got good at making videos, right?
1,000,000%.
So the reason I created Pineda Media is to teach people exactly what you and I know, how to make viral videos consistently at scale, high quality, and then how to build funnels to convert that traffic to your product, to your business, to your offer, and just rinse and repeat. That's literally all I do is just business after business, video after video, view to dollar. And that's the formula.
And that's the formula. And that's what you've done with your real estate course, even though you hated being a realtor.
Yep.
That's what you've done with your flipping course. And now you're going to do it with your content creation.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, they need it. They're all asking for it. They're all begging for it. My son also has an agency like that. It's a real one. Real, meaning he's actually working it. You know, like I said, why don't you just make videos, content? He's like, no, he's actually working behind the scenes and they want him. It's not feasible. It's not sustainable in the long term, but he's busy. He's a university student. This is what he does as his part-time gig, you know?
Crazy.
And they are begging for it. I have realtors texting me, DMing me every day saying, Tat, I need help with TikTok. Tat, I need help with Reels. How do you get this done? They need you. No. They need you, Ryan.
Trust me, I've heard it enough where I'm like, fine, I will answer the call. I will create the program to teach all these business people how to build content the way we have and how to monetize it. You
know what? Instead of this realtor's course that I'm selling, maybe I'm switching my idea.
There we go.
Next year.
I'm
tired.
It is a lot of work.
I'm not tired, actually. I'm very motivated. I'm very happy. I love doing this. Yeah. I don't know if you could tell. Like, I love it.
Well, you know what's interesting? For one, I can tell you love it. And this is something I tell people too. I go, hey, look, if you do want to be successful in creating content, you truly do have to love it, right? Yeah. Because you'll burn out instantly, right? And I did not love it initially, right? I'm like, why am I going to go dance on TikTok again?
Yeah.
Like, this is dumb. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of fun. And then you start seeing the results from it and the fruit from it. And you're like, okay, I actually really like doing this.
Especially the fruit.
The fruit is good.
The best part.
The meat. And, for me now, I'm like, honestly, I don't know what I would do if I didn't make videos like every week. Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I going to go back to being a behind the scenes business guy?
You're going to have a meeting with the contractor?
Yeah, like exactly. So
boring.
I agree. And I think business people are the number one people that need it the most. And what I see currently in at least the marketplace of teaching people how to make content is like you have people trying to teach how to be like a creator only. Like, hey, here's how to become a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Here's how to be a TikToker. Here's how to, make Instagram stuff. And like, that's it. And they're trying to take anybody who's never made $1 or, anybody to become a viral whatever star. And that can work, right? Like you get guys like Mr. Beast who, yes, he was not a business guy. He became a full-on entertainer and then he built businesses after. Right? And I think that path is a lot harder than the business people now because they already have the way to monetize and make money.
Exactly. And we have the time to, do things and then redo them and then fix things because we have the money coming in, right?
We have the budget to afford what we need to do.
Oh, you need a camera? Let's buy it.
Yeah.
And that helps.
100%.
And it's not privilege, it's hard work.
It's hard work from running your business.
And taking risks.
Yes.
That $4,000 camera, is it worth it? Paying that closer, 20%.
What do you think?
Is it worth it?
Yeah. Tell me this with your, before getting on TikTok in 2020, how big was the risk to say, hey, I'm going to go like make these videos and I don't know how it's going to play out. It's going to take away from my current business.
So I only did it. I told you I'm a wind-up doll. I did it because my son said, this is what you have to do. And a couple of my friends were like, you got to get on TikTok. You're doing so well on Instagram. Get on TikTok. And remember, it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there at home doing nothing. So I said, okay, let's try it. So my trial and error, that happened while I had nothing to do anyway.
Right.
Okay. The risk started when I said, okay, shall we put Joshua, my son, on payroll? A proper payroll where he'll show up every single day and he'll do the work he's supposed to do. And then should I buy him that new iPhone with a terabyte of memory in it? Is it worth it? So remember the risks that we got to take when it comes to content creation. You can't compare them to, you had this lovely lady on your show, Sanchez, Connie?
Yep, Codie.
Codie
Yep.
Sanchez.
Yep.
I love her.
Yep.
Love her. So it's not like I'm buying a business, like she is, 150,000.
Yeah.
No, you get to start small. So that's what's great. But yeah, I guess, $3,000 iPhone is expensive.
Yeah.
It's pricey.
I remember when we decided I had to make the choice of, okay, you know what? I got to buy a big iMac because my wife was editing. So
your wife was editing?
she edited my first YouTube videos.
Oh.
Yep. She was actually pregnant with our second child. And we were at home during the pandemic. She's on bed rest. And she's like,
let me do
edit.
it for you.
Yeah, I like YouTube. She always loved YouTube. In fact, she told me to get on YouTube for years.
Right.
When just on the house flips. She's like, you could start your own YouTube channel, detail your house flips. People will love it. And I'm like, babe, YouTube is so dumb. I am not going to do that.
And you did it.
And then she was right.
You should always listen to your wife. By the way, happy wife, happy life.
Look, she's always right.
Napoleon Hill, he says all these successful men, he said, all these successful men who waste their energy outside once they're successful, I'm not going to talk about what kind of energy he was talking about, instead of double downing on their businesses and their families, that's where they lose it all. And instead of double downing and actually growing the fruits of their effort.
Yeah.
So always listen to your wife, people.
1,000%.
Listen to your wife. I'm somebody's wife. And he listens to me.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to cap the podcast. Definitely listen to your wives, guys. Where can they find you?
So they could find me everywhere. They could find me at Tat Londano on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook.
Where they get the course at? We talked about that.
So for any real estate agent or broker that just wants to grow their business, a business that they can systematize and sell for millions and millions of dollars when they are done selling real estate, you go to tatlondano.live and I show them everything step by step on how to become $1 million business owner / real estate agent broker. So tatlondano.live.
I love it. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun with Tat. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Mwah.
Peace.
This guy has interviewed the likes of Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, Gary Vee at this point. Like, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've taken away from these guys?
That's number one, is like A players only. Number two is successful people are in the order business, but mega successful people are in the reorder